What's up YouTube, Adam here and welcome to today's video. Today we're talking about the PS4 Pro guys. Where do I start with this? Where do I start? I'm really not happy about this PS4 Pro. I think it sucks in every way, and we're going to run through that and let you know why I think that. First off of all, there's so many things wrong with this in the respect that it just doesn't deliver on what it should deliver, and I think the timing's all wrong. Let's get into this. Let's unpack it. Let's go through my opinions and through the specs and run through everything, and then obviously you guys can let me know what you think. But for me personally, PS4 Pro, from the conference itself, they didn't seem to actually say whether the games were true 4K or not, which makes me believe that they're upscale versions. So again, it's not a true 4K console, which kind of beggars the belief why bother in the first place. Second of all, not all the parties are involved with this yet, only a select few. Obviously all Sony's first party studios and a few second ones, like the big ones like EA, Ubisoft and things like that. But the conference was so boring, and when they were running through the specs of the console and they didn't really actually show you what's in it, that to me was a little bit scary, and I was like, right, okay, why aren't they showing, how many teraflops it's got, what GPU it's got in there, and yeah, it scared me a little. Then they unveiled the console, which was, in my opinion, is ugly. And I know we don't buy the consoles for what they look like, but at the end of the day, guys, this has got to sit on my desk, and this thing looks hideous, it really does. Now, when you compare this to the Xbox One S, which we covered in a previous video, it kind of very similar consoles. One's a lot more than the other. Let's kind of unpack that a little bit. So the Xbox One S, you can get various different size hard drives, but it supports 4K streaming, 4K Blu-ray, which the PS4 Pro doesn't. So that's a massive thing the PS4 Pro doesn't. No Blu-ray, 4K Blu-ray player inside, which is really disappointing. They both enable HDR. The only thing the Xbox One S doesn't do, which is play 4K games, which, to be fair, I'm not too sure whether the PS4 Pro does anyway, because for me it looks like it's going to be upscaling, and if it's upscaled, it's not true 4K, and if that case, what's the point? Really pissed off with this, guys. I'm a massive PlayStation fan, massive. I've got like every iteration of the PlayStation that's ever been. I've got Vitas, I've got a PS3, 4 and a Vita in my house at the moment. I also own an Xbox One. But it is so disappointing. So I wanted to kind of run down. No one's really speaking about this at the moment, and it's a massive point. And I want to try and do some maths while we kind of go through the video. And excuse me if I'm 50 quid short here and there. Apologies for that. But let's do some maths. So I'm a massive PS4 fan. I was going to get the VR, which, to be honest, I don't think I am now, because I'm that pissed off with Sony. So for me, this coming holiday, if I was to get the PSVR, which I've pre-ordered, if I was to get the PS4 Pro and have the capabilities of getting a monitor or a TV that's going to run the PS4 Pro with the HDR and everything, you're talking about serious money. So let's kind of wind it back. What's the VR's what, 300 quid? Let me do this. Let me do this right, because I know you're going to kill me if I get this wrong. So let me just run through whilst I'm on the video and find out the exact prices of everything here, so we can explore this. No, that's not what I want. Okay, so it's way more than that. Apologies. Right, so the PlayStation VR by itself is 350 quid. Okay. So that's 350 quid. Right, so that alone, we're already there. PS4 Pro, let's bring that up. How much is that? So that's 350 quid again. So that's 700 quid, alright? And I still need to get a HDR 4K enabled TV or monitor. I also need to get the two wands to go with the PS4 Pro, and I also need to get the camera as well. I had a camera, but the camera didn't do fuck all, and it hasn't done since until we need it for PSVR. Now, a lot of people bought cameras ready for the PSVR, but unfortunately they've gone and brought out a new camera, which again is absolutely fucking ridiculous. So we're 700 quid. Let's look at the wands, the PlayStation Move controllers, and just see how much they are. Right, so you get them for about 25 quid each. So two of them, that's another 50 quid. Let's have a look at the camera. So we're up to 750 now, guys. And the camera's 50 quid basically as well. So we're up to 800 quid of money that I've got to find from somewhere. Now, I need to obviously get 4K enabled monitors, because that's what I use. I don't use TVs. So I'm not even sure if there is actually any HDR monitors. Let's see if I can find any. I know there are TVs and they go for roughly 500 quid. Okay, so there's nothing on Amazon. Let's have a quick look on Google quickly. TVs. Right, nothing's jumping out at me here. Ultra HD monitors, 4K. It doesn't seem like there's HDR for monitors. I may be wrong, and I'm sure I probably am. There's probably one or two hidden away somewhere. I can't find them. So let's look at a 4K HDR TV. Right, so they do vary in price massively. I mean, if you want a decent one, you're talking 800 to £1,000. If you want a basic one, you're probably looking at 500 to 700 quid. So even if we say the cheapest price, guys, which obviously you're not going to want a cheap Elite TV, you're going to want to spend a bit of money on, you're talking 500 quid. So with the 800 quid for the rest of the hardware and peripherals I need to run it, you're talking £1,300. £1,300 I've got to pay out between now and Christmas to get me up to date and going with all the new hardware. You've got to be fucking kidding me. £1,300. I mean, I earn decent money, but £1,300 with Christmas and everything to think of as well, you've got to be fucking joking. Sony have seriously messed up here. What they should have done is fucking got rid of this idea of the running games in 4K. It's 4K and HDR is not adapted that much, and you look at the rate of the amount of TVs that's sold is ridiculously low. I'm not even running 4K, and I'm what I call a tech guy. I love my technology. I always try and get out the new things, but the game space and everything's not there yet. So some of Netflix will run 4K, and you're talking like the brand new series like Narcos and a couple of things. So there's only a few things on Netflix that are going to run 4K. There's also, very similar with YouTube, there's a very small amount of videos that are going to run it. There's no Blu-ray 4K, so you can't even go out and buy the Blu-rays. So even the Sony store isn't supporting 4K movies. I mean, for fuck's sake, why bring out a 4K console if you're not even going to support the movies that this machine runs anyway? It just seems like a complete waste of time to me. It's so frustrating. So 1,300 quid is what I've got to fork out if I want to get up to date with the newest Sony hardware. It is ridiculous. What they should have done is just waited, made the Slim a little bit better, and maybe kept it at a similar price point, similar to what the Xbox One S has done. Include the 4K, streaming and everything like that, and HDR. Which the HDR, all the back catalogue of PS4. So the PS4 Slim, the original PS4, are going to get HDR anyway. So again, what is the point of this new console if nothing runs 4K? It's a bit too ahead of the time. And what I really would like to have seen is something similar to what Xbox has done with the Scorpio. So they've said that Scorpio is coming out in November next year. It gives me a year to prepare to get everything I need to be able to run that. So obviously it's a TV, it's a hefty price. I'm going to need to get some more monitors, which I'm definitely going to do. But it gives me a year to kind of save up the money and purchase as I go. Sony is saying, right, you've got a month now to kind of get your shit together and fork out 1,300 quid. You've got to be kidding me. No, you know, unless you're earning serious money, you're going to be able to do that. And it fucks me off that much. That, to be honest, I'm thinking of ditching Sony and going over to Xbox as my main console of choice. Yes, I do have all of them and I do play all of them, but PS4 has always been, you know, PlayStation's always been my go-to console. You know, it's got all my trophies on there, but they fucked me off so much with this that I'm seriously thinking of, when the Scorpio comes out, is making that my main machine. Obviously I'm still going to have a PS4 and I'll probably play the exclusives because they do, you know, the first owned studios by Sony are really good, but it's just so frustrating. It's so frustrating. Sony have seriously fucked themselves, I think, personally, and I know there's going to be a lot of people who disagree with me, but if they just gave it a year for the console to come out, I think everyone would have been a lot happier. Then they could have put the console more on a par with the Scorpio, because this is seriously underpowered compared to the Scorpio. So what are PlayStation going to do next year? Are they going to release another console? Are they going to bring a PlayStation 5 around the corner sooner? Because basically, alright, you've got to wait a year till the Scorpio comes out, but it's going to be almost twice as powerful. And that's only within a year. By that time, people are probably going to be running their 4K machines. Netflix, YouTube, and everything will probably all be in 4K. You know, Sony have trying to jumped, and kind of get ahead of the bandwagon, but they seriously fucked themselves, you know, because of it, to spite their face. There's nothing I can go on when I get my 4K machine and actually play 4K games, because I don't think the gameplay supports it. So Sony have seriously fucked up here, guys. I think it's a disaster. I'm really pissed off, and you know, I think I'm done with Sony. You know, that this console's ugly. It's slightly more powerful than the Xbox One S, which supports everything apart from the upscaling of 4K, but it does have a Blu-ray 4K disc drive. So to be honest, there's not a lot of difference in the consoles apart from the upscaling that the Pro does, but is it really worth the extra money? And if you haven't got the technology to support it, what's the point? Yeah, it can run 1080p games slightly better, but so can the Xbox One S, and it has, you know, more sort of content that will be user friendly than the Pro, and it's just so disappointing, and there's so much I want to talk about, and I could probably ramble on for about half an hour, and I can't remember all the points I've been kind of thinking through for the last couple of days. And I wanted to post this up Wednesday, but I was kind of so pissed off and disappointed of how boring the conference was, and I didn't really know how I felt, so I didn't want to put a video up until kind of I understood where I was with everything, and how I felt ultimately about the situation. But now I've had a couple of days to kind of let it sink in. I'm seriously annoyed and pissed off, and yeah, I'm really not happy. You know, 1,300 quid, guys. Have you got 1,300 quid? I know I haven't. I am definitely. I'm definitely going over to Xbox when the Scorpio comes out, and I'm going to go over there because they just do things properly. Yeah, the Xbox One come out was a bit underpowered, and they made some bad decisions which ultimately led to their demise in this kind of generational race. But you know, Sony didn't need to do this. They could have just made the slim, you know, like what Xbox One S done, made it there, start getting people prepared for when the actual true 4K comes out next year. It gives you a chance to get all your peripherals, you know, in order, but they haven't, and the slim, they're just so ugly. You've got to make it look appealing, and if you're not making it look appealing, then it's this stupid, horrible box that sits on, you know, on your shelf or your TV unit at home. And yeah, I'm just really disappointed, guys, and I know I keep saying it, but I really am. So but yeah, that's going to be the end of the video today, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it, my little rant, and you know, let me know what you think, because it is a really interesting topic. And I was speaking to a friend the other day, and you know, he's really for it, really pro, really excited, no pun intended there. But for me, it's just the wrong timing. If this come out next year, it gives everyone a chance to get on board and get used to the 4K format and get everything set up for when the console came. And the fact that there's not many games coming out that's going to really benefit this, and that, you know, not all of the developers are on board. You know, if the developers aren't on board, guys, then there's no point, because not every game's going to be able to do it. It's going to be a select few, and to do the 4K thing as a conference as a whole, unless you've already got 4K, you can't appreciate what what the picture quality is going to be like anyway. So there you go, guys. Sorry I keep rambling on, but this is going to be the end of the video. Obviously, let me know what you think down in the comments section below, and if you liked today's video, leave a like, and if you're new around here, please subscribe. But until next time, guys, peace.